Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be joining the 100 Wednesday series going live. I'm Natalie, co-founder and CEO of Mindot, and a little bit about myself, which starts the story about the organization that I founded. So originally, I was born in Colombia, South America, and I won a scholarship to go abroad and study in the United States of America. So the American dream, just a family in Latin America, and me going to study abroad in the US was an amazing opportunity. And I decided to study international affairs and political science. And I chose an amazing city, which was Washington, DC. Which is a city very well known for power, for politics, for international affairs, and for having lots of diplomats. I chose this major because my teachers told me that I was really good in school, that I was a really good student, that my grades were very good. So I went to the United States. I did 4 years of international affairs and political science. And it was an amazing experience. I connected with so many international individuals. My perception and education changed so much. And after 4 years of finishing my major, I went to work for many international organisms like the World Bank, like the Organization of American States. And after 2 years working in that environment, I just realized that political science and international affairs was not my passion. I was just a very creative individual, very active individual, and I found myself very quiet, working all day on a computer, and I was like, this is not my thing. So I decided to switch path, and I decided to follow my heart, follow my passion, and become an entrepreneur. When I became an entrepreneur, that journey of becoming an entrepreneur, opening a company, establishing a name, it's many ups and downs of entrepreneurship, which I call the journey of an entrepreneur. And one day we were having some coffee, me and my co-founder, in New York City, and we were speaking about how very few programs today inspire students to love what they do and build what they dream. And when we talk about loving what we do, is the passion part, which I was lacking. I was lacking passion in the different majors that I chose, and I was lacking passion to continue a career in international affairs. But I had very few options to choose other careers, and building what you dream is that portion. When I became an entrepreneur, it's so many ups and downs that in order to build your dreams, there had to be something today that would teach us to become entrepreneurs, to become leaders, to become managers. That's when Mindot was born. Mindot was born 4 years ago with the idea to reinvent, reimagine, and transform education to help students like myself that chose maybe careers that they were not passionate about, to really explore other opportunities earlier, to be able to follow their passions and build their dreams. So what is Mindot? Mindot is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We're based in the United States of America. We're based in New York City. And obviously our mission is to drive changes in education around the world. We inspire not only students, but teachers, parents, and also governments to be able to implement innovation in education experiences in their countries. So obviously my story is very linked to the story of the organization. And for 4 years, we've been working in implementing innovative programs for students, which we call our Mind Weeks. Mind Weeks are week-long programs in which students get not only to leave their comfort zone, but leave where they live, travel, and explore different industries. And when we speak about different industries, we speak about technology, architecture, design, music, entertainment, humanities, politics, business, because our idea is to expose students to different industries so that they can really take better decisions when they graduate. When they go to university, our idea is for these students to really take better decisions. So we work with high school students that are proximate or about to graduate. And not only we give them a week-long experience in which they explore different industries, but also we connect them with inspiring stories of people who struggled to get where they are today, people who didn't have things very easily, but those stories will inspire these students to really create their own stories. Okay, so our programs are started out being with like 20 to 30 students. This was the amount of students, and obviously here comes HundrED. I was connected to the HundrED community a few years ago. I'm very happy to be supporting not only HundrED, but to be part of the HundrED network, because HundrED has been an inspiring figure for Mindot. When I was speaking with Saku and Books and many other of the leaders of HundrED, we were speaking about how amazing the Mindot programs were, but how could we scale them to get to more students from around the world. And this is where Mindot gave like a change in terms of this year. We were able to do a program in March where we covered not 30 students, but 50, and our aim to October is to create a program that will get to more than 100 students. So right now, thanks to the inspiration we got from HundrED and the scalability concept, that is one of the criteria to become 100 innovations, we decided to rethink how can our programs get to many more students from around the world. So this is one of the amazing benefits that we get from joining the HundrED community, and is getting feedback and getting the support to make our entrepreneur, our innovations even better. One of the things that I've learned throughout this journey is not to fall in love with our products. And when I say not to fall in love with our products, is sometimes we think our innovations are the best thing ever, but then we realize that they could be better, that they could be more scalable, that they could get to more people, that there's a lot of things. Different sectors like the World Bank, the World Economic Forum, Amazon, Spotify, Uber, and different companies. And we've been visiting these companies. And one of the things that we've realized throughout the journey of visiting all of these companies and having students interact with these companies is these companies today, they're switching their criteria on how they select the people that work for them. For example, companies are no longer looking for grades. Companies are no longer looking for the best student of the class. But companies are dying to hire people that are passionate, people that show an extreme passion for what they do, people that are going to be willing to stay very late at night, or people who are willing that their passion is going to solve so many problems. So we hear a lot the passion aspect. This is one of the things that these big tech giants require from the students, which is the passion aspect. And then the communication component is a very strong element that we need today in our leaders, our students, and especially in our region in Latin America. When I mention Latin America, I'm mentioning Colombia, Peru, Mexico, different countries in the Americas. We're experiencing a lack of communication. Students are feeling not prepared because today, in a digitalized world, students are YouTubers. Students want to go live. Students want to do so many things. Me, myself, right now, I'm just throwing myself to do a Facebook Live. And if I don't have the communication skills, I'm not prepared for the future. So the communications component is one of the very strongest things we'll be hearing the students that they want to see implemented in their curriculums, that they want to see implemented in their schools, because they realize they need to throw themselves out there to the world to speak, to interact, to network. So the communications component is a very, very, very strong component. And I wanted to share an anecdote. I was visiting one of these big tech companies in Silicon Valley, and I was speaking to one of the leaders and recruiters, and he was telling me how he usually hires people who've done improv classes. Improv is improvisation classes, and I took this class, well, even before he told me that, because of a recommendation. But what is improv? The capacity of improvising, the capacity of really being exposed to a changing environment. And today, our students, after so many years of rote memorization, after so many years of having students react to an exam, we need to really, really, really teach them how to think beyond and in environments that they don't even think that are going to be possible. So improvisation was one of the things that really changed my perception of what I think schools need today. And I think improv classes are great to introduce to all of the schools from around the world, because sometimes students need to step out of their routine. They just need to start thinking and training their brains to think differently and to react to different stimuli. So besides the communications, the passion aspect, also the problem solving. Really, really, really today, these big corporations really, really admire and want problem solvers, people that come to you solving problems. They don't want people just thinking and thinking, but they want people who solve problems and solve problems rapidly. So when I mention all of these aspects, is when I combine the characteristics needed for the future workforce and the characteristics that we, the leaders of Mindot, work, which is outside the classroom into the real world. Our programs, 100% of our programs go and encourage students to go outside the classroom and into the real world. We need to connect what the students are learning in their schools to real life. How are we gonna bridge that gap? How are we gonna connect the experiences learned in school to real life? And this is one of the things and one of the challenges that we at Mindot face every single day. How to connect what these students are learning, connecting these experiences to real life. So I got a call from a director a few years ago, and he was telling me almost with tears in his eyes, he was like, Natalie, what you guys are doing is amazing because you're giving life to the classroom. Our students are mesmerized with the experiences they lived. And one student told him, now I understand why I need to study, why I need to sacrifice and really, really, really struggle in life to get the degree. And this was a student that was really, really struggling with his grades and studies. And it's amazing to see how a week program can really change the mindset of not only a student, but from schools. So what we're identifying today in the region, to specifically give a little bit of context, is students wanting to go outside the classroom, students wanting to connect with real life, students wanting to experiment different opportunities, listen to stories of inspiration, listen to stories of leadership, get the inspiration. But most importantly, students are very, 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 very hungry to really identify their passions. When we speak about identifying their passions, we find that 80%, and I'm being very, very good, it could be more, 80% of the students today really don't know what they want to do in life. We encounter so many students with doubts, very curious about the different industries and the different paths they might take, and we consider that obviously schools have a very enormous task of educating already the individuals, and if we add to that students need to leave the schools already thinking about what they want to do. So one of the great things about the Mindot experience is sometimes we have students that do come and say, well, I know I want to be an architect. And I was like, fine. And sometimes they ask me like, oh, do I need to go to the business industry side business? And I'm like, yeah, you need to go to everything. And sometimes they're like, well, I wanted to be an architect, but now I've decided I just want to be an interior designer. So it's just helping them shape and really find that little thing that it's very hard to find when you're in school. So it's a pleasure for us to help students identify their passion. Right now, we're really working hard on scaling, and this is thanks to the HundrED inspiration. I was able to go to the HundrED Summit in November in Helsinki. Not only I met with amazing individuals from around the world, but I got so much inspiration from innovations from around the world. And I share with HundrED this mission in that there's so many innovations going on around the world that we all need to come together, that we'll need to collaborate. Because I think if it's education, it's for all. And if it's for all, we need to come together, collaborate as a world, different teachers, educators from around the world to improve the state of education, to reinvent, to reimagine, and to transform education. Because we need our world to be better. And we all need to put our little piece of effort to make education around the world better. So I had the opportunity to visit Finland and attend the HundrED Summit in November. I met amazing individuals, and I'm very thankful not only to Saku, the founder of this amazing initiative, but Lassie, Pugrash, and so many, Jessica, Kenny, amazing individuals that are really leading this movement. And obviously, I hope to support more spotlights and events of HundrED here in the region, because we really need to help our students thrive. This is a mission that HundrED has, and I think it's amazing to see how HundrED has been connecting individuals from around the world and inspiring us all to really transform and make our programs better. I think this is one of the things that we've learned throughout the journey is we like our programs, how can we make them better, and how can we have these programs serve students from around the world. So I'm very happy to have shared a little bit of me, my story, and a little bit about the context in Latin America that really needs to improve in terms of supporting students in finding their mission, finding their passions, helping them to be better communicators, helping them to be better connectors, helping them to be better networkers, because it's super important to do the networking. We get to where we want to get because of who we know. The networking part is amazing. Meeting people every day, connecting with people, and building those relationships. One of the things that we've heard throughout this journey is having a business card means nothing, but building the connections, building the relationships is really crucial. And this is one of the things that we really stress in our students, is how they can build these connections, how they can build these relationships. And when they leave our programs, they leave inspired, they leave mesmerized, because they realize that they, even though they're very young, they can start building their own database, their own contacts, to really build what they think they want to do in the future, and that they can have strong mentors that are going to be able to support them along the way. So I'm very thankful once more to HundrED, to all of this amazing community. You can follow us at HundrED and at Mindot, and you can visit our website, mindot.org, to learn a little bit more about our programs. Happy to collaborate, happy to go to different parts of the world to take our programs and to inspire. And I'm very thankful once more for all of you who joined today, and for HundrED for allowing us to connect and allowing us to share our stories, really to disrupt, to transform education, because every student in life should flourish. And that's one of the things that HundrED is always striving, how every student should flourish. Thank you so much, and it was an honor to be today with all of you. Thank you.